You may begin.
So, hi everyone, my name is Tommy.
My name is Ian.
My name is Jake.
Jake as well.
And I'm Nathan.
Good.
So, our business plan was to introduce OneSource as a rating company. So we decided that a rating company is a complementary product, and I think it would be a good choice that OneSource could apply to the
It's okay. Take your time.
to the real estate industry.
Again, I'm Jake, and we're talking about the industry market. And this adding a rigging company will open up many new markets to them, especially in the commercial and industrial industries, because moving a lot of heavy equipment from one place to another. It's a lot of construction with commercial real estate businesses and stuff. It would be an oligopoly market because there's very few competitors that dominate that market.
Good.
So in Connecticut, they're probably going to be one of the only ones there, especially with the real estate and commercial end of it.
Good.
None of their competitors have this service offered to them, and it creates a nice market niche. It's a nice capital market. Again, none of their competitors, as far as Scalzo and Millennium, do any rigging sort.
Okay.
All right, so product competition. If OneSource were to have a rating service, they would have a large competitive advantage over many real estate competitors. So there are hardly any companies that are in the real estate and rating industry on the East Coast, which could be a good opportunity for OneSource. One of their main competitors would be against Pedowitz, which is one of the largest rating transportation companies throughout the U.S.
Okay, I'm Jake. So this is talking about competitive advantage. So having a rigging and heavy material lifting service would put OneSource at a competitive advantage against other property management companies in Connecticut because none of them offer this service. A lot of them just specialize in the basic, the property maintenance, housekeeping, construction services, tenants, and things like that. So it's not offered by other groups. But OneSource would have an advantage over Scalzo, who we mentioned earlier in the business plan, because Scalzo they do all like the basic stuff that you can think of, the same stuff that OneSource does, but they do not have the rating service. So this would be an advantage.
Okay.
And they can also get a bigger market share in the industry because of having this rigging service.
Hello, everybody. I'm Nathan again, and I'm going to be talking about the manufacturing as well as the distribution aspect on the next slide. So obviously, what we're providing in terms of the rigging service is a service versus a product, so it's going to be a lot different than if we were producing a product or a product line. It is going to be an in-house service as well as an equipment-based service. One thing that we really contemplated as a group was whether we would have OneSource really run the service, the rigging service by themselves and kind of create the business and the brand for themselves, or if we would use subcontractors like they do for their other like plumbing and electrical services. And we decided that it was best if we had OneSource be like the main people who ran this business, because it would really create their identity and it would fall well with their mission and vision statements. In terms of the initial investment, most likely we would start out with receiving funding for the operations and then making sure that we rented to the end, because it is a large initial investment of about over $1 million for all the equipment that issue like flatbeds, cranes, and other stuff like that. In terms of the distribution, OneSource has their monthly fixed cost, and this would just fall right in line with that. We would probably include it in the market basket with their commercial real estate services as well as the rating services. Really, we would follow up the commercial real estate and the property management services that they provide. And the target market is really going to be those people in the business industry, because they're going to want everything to be concentrated, not have to go to many other contractors and people who provide services. And with OneSource having the service, they can do that.
Hi everyone, my name is Ian. So I'm getting into advertising. So OneSource, if we plan to do this, will primarily advertise on Meta, which is known as Facebook. And Facebook is good because the age range is between 25 and 35 years old, to allow, it's like our intended market for people who kind of want one place, like one source to have all their needs and to help them. So we are targeting Generation X and Generation Y. And we plan to use a CPC on Meta because it's a good option to start out with, as the CTR, the click-through rate, is a lot lower and cheaper than a CPM, which is a click-through cost per million. Secondly, we'll use LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is used as a social media to build brand awareness and relationship with their customers, post engaging content to their potential customers and clients. So we will use LinkedIn. However, we will use a different advertising model. We will use CPM instead of the CPC, because their LinkedIn is not as big as their Facebook, and it's suggested if their CTR rate is below 1%, you should use CPM due to the effectiveness. It's a lot more effective, as CPCs will just cost too much, because CPCs will make them miss out on potential traffic. Like,
Good, a round of applause, please. Okay, you guys can log out. I'll give you your feedback. You guys can go log in.
Yeah.
Where was it?